The first teasers for the 10th anniversary are here, and the theme might just be the best one yet. How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we have the first teasers for Dokkan Battle's 10th anniversary. As you all know, this is the first anniversary that is going to be synced on both Global and JP Dokkan, celebrating at the end of January. So let's go ahead, let's take a look at these teasers and see if we can get a grasp on just what exactly the theme could be. Now note, this is just going to be my theory based on what we see so far. It's entirely possible that this may change as new teasers are released, but this is just an idea. So, you know, drop your predictions in the comments as we're going through this and see if you agree or disagree as we go through. So let's start with the first one here. So we're going to pause the Lofi. We're going to take a look here. So first one, it's kind of out of order, but the first one here begins here with this here. So shout out to Air Dokkan for posting these ads. They're each about 15 seconds long, but let's take a look at this one. The first one is the Krillin one. Alrighty, so as we can see, the first one represents the Saiyan saga, right? So let's take a look at the next one here. Alright, and then here they're tackling like Frieza and Goku, right? So first one, Saiyan saga, Frieza and Goku, and then the third one here, again, back on Namek Saga. Look at that. Alright, so it's interesting, pretty typical of what they do with these teasers, right? They usually start with a specific saga, and sometimes they like to count down to whatever the theme is going to be. If we think last year, right, last year's, once they revealed the theme, right, they each trailer counted down to what would essentially be, right, the Dragon Ball superheroes movies, right? So Dragon Ball Super Broly for part 1, and then subsequently Dragon Ball Super Superhero, right? Each of the teaser trailers counted down, right, the specific sagas leading up to, right, the superhero saga. So it could be something like that, but that isn't always the case. In fact, last year, right, was the first time that particular format was used for anniversary. Typically, that wasn't done in previous anniversaries, right? This was more of a worldwide thing where they count down the moments leading up to. In the cases of like previous, and so I had to go find my video on this one because when we think about the original ones, right? Okay, right, when we think about the original trailers that came out for the 8th anniversary, it literally just recapped, the first one literally just recapped, if we find here, so the first one literally recapped GT. I think I have it here. Dokkan, yeah, Dokkan Assets posted it. I'm not going to play the music here, but the first one literally just recapped GT. So if you were seeing this, right, you're thinking, well, obviously the 8th anniversary ended up being GT, partly GT, but you wouldn't have realized that this was leading to the Spirit Bomb. Heck, even this one, right, the Majin Buu Saga trailer that we ended up getting later, even that didn't really, I mean, wouldn't have really necessarily linked into the Spirit Bomb. In fact, I don't think it was until Nano started spouting the idea of a dual Spirit Bomb theme that idea really started to get traction. And of course, it ended up being correct, but you wouldn't have, most people weren't guessing that at the release. And the year before that, right, like if we take out what we knew from 7th anniversary, The 7th anniversary missions had nothing to do with what the final theme ended up being, right? Which was the rivalry between Goku and Vegeta. The missions and the teasers were all counting down Goku and his experiences with his masters, beginning all the way from Grandpa Gohan all the way up to Whis. You would have never guessed a double Gogeta theme, and then the Goku versus Vegeta family. Like that would have never come to anyone's mind there, based on the countdown. So I say all that to say that while this could very well be hinting at something, I don't think it's necessarily hinting that this is just a countdown to something that's going to be later, right? Because what could it be counting down to, right? If we're beginning with Saiyan Saga, what are we counting down to, the end of Z again? Well, we already did that, right? We already have the end of Z, unless they're counting down to Super again, which again, we already did that. So, in fact, what I think this is actually doing is not necessarily counting down to a specific theme, but more like gathering all the pieces of a puzzle to a theme. And I say that because of this screen here, right? And the screen on the Namek Saga one, if you translate the hiragana and the kanji on there, it translates to next time, right? Harkening in on those cutouts, right? From the end of Z. Although that was a global exclusive thing, right? I'm actually not sure if they did the next time on Dragon Ball Z thing in the JP, in the original sub, but point is, next time, with gratitude for the past 10 years, everything about Dragon Ball is here. To me, that line means something. I don't think that that's just a throwaway line, right? Everything Dragon Ball is here. My idea is that what this is doing, what these teasers are going to be doing, are not counting down, but showing off the various sagas of Dragon Ball. Now, they specifically start with the Saiyan Saga, and so I do believe that means Dragon Ball might be out of the equation, since they're starting with Saiyan Saga and Namek Saga, but I think it makes sense when I think about what the final theme is, right? The theme itself is Dragon Ball Z, or Z Fighters, so to speak. And I say that because of last year's theme. I think last year's theme really kind of set the stage for this, right? Last year's theme was Super. On Global, it was Superhero, right? So they could very well be doing much the same thing here for the 10th anniversary, and it would make sense, right? When we think Dragon Ball, what got most of the global audience into Dragon Ball? It wasn't Dragon Ball Super. And as much as it pains me to say this, it wasn't OG Dragon Ball either. It was Dragon Ball Z. What better celebration than the 10th anniversary of Dokkan Battle, right? 10 years in the making, to celebrate the series that started it all for most of the series audiences, and Dragon Ball Z, right? The theme itself could very well be Dragon Ball Z, or rather Z Fighters. And this actually makes sense when you think about what the connecting theme between between all of them are, right? When we think like the Super, right, the connecting theme here is the superheroes, the battles, right? Even though Super Bosses was like a new category added, right? The battles are specifically between the superhero type characters. To me, the connection could be the Super Saiyans category, right? When you think Dragon Ball Z, you think Super Saiyan, right? So the theme very well could be something like, right, you know, the Part 1 LRs fitting that theme could very well be like a new Super Saiyan Namek Goku, right, who goes Super Saiyan for the first time. Like, that could be his entrance animation, right? Imagine if we actually got that voiced in Dokkan Battle, right? The Part 1 could be Namek Saga Goku and like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, right? Two very iconic moments from Dragon Ball Z, like arguably two of the most iconic, right? And this even fits what a lot of other people have been wanting. People have been screaming for a Super Vegito and Super Gogeta anniversary, harkening back to the early days of Dokkan Battle. That still fits the theme. If we go Dragon Ball Z, Z Fighters with the Super Saiyans kind of theme as the fill-in, right, that still counts Super Gogeta and Super Vegito. And in fact, they could be those very well could be the part 1s, right? I mean, that would make sense. But I mean, as 9th anniversary proved, it doesn't really matter where you put the hype unit, people are going to summon there. But I mean, I guess if you really wanted a face on it, right, you could put Super Gogeta and Super Vegito on it. Although, I mean, in my personal opinion, I could see Goku Super Saiyan for the first time very well being the face of the 10th anniversary, right? Because is there not a more iconic moment in anime history than Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time? And I think them choosing to start at Namek and Saiyan Saga, there's a very good reason for that. While things do kind of seem random at times to us, everything Dokkan does is intentional. The previous trailers all had something in mind that they were building up to that we necessarily didn't see at first. But I definitely don't think that this is counting down to anything superhero related, since we did that last year. And I definitely don't think that I don't think that this is counting down to a specific saga. In fact, I think, you know, the statement here really points to this being an anniversary celebrating the events that started it all. And the fact that, you know, in the background, that is Head Chala playing, right? It's like, they're not playing any of the, to be fair, it is the sagas. So, I mean, still, I do think that this is probably what we're going to be looking at for the 10th anniversary. Hopefully I'm right. I think like this could honestly, celebrating Dragon Ball Z as it was for all of us who began the series, I think is a great way to celebrate 10 years of Dokkan in the making. So guys, that is it for the video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, what do you think this theme could mean? What are these trailers leading up to? Do you think they're counting down to a specific saga like in years past or worldwide's past? Or do you think it's all kind of just building towards a specific theme? Do you think that this little screenshot here, again, shout out to Apple for taking this, by the way, and translating it, do you think this has any meaning to the possibilities of the theme? Do you think I'm on track with this idea of a Dragon Ball Z centered theme? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching and aloha.